ground where Adam once stood is not empty. Scripture says it's guarded, not by walls, by beings whose only assignment was to make sure humanity never simply walked back in. Genesis never says that assignment ended. Here's exactly what the text confirms. After Adam and Eve are exiled, God stations cherubim at the east of Eden and a flaming sword, turning in every direction, guarding the way to the tree of life. That's the account in full. No name given to the guard, no description beyond fire and motion, just a sealed door and a silence that has lasted ever since. We tend to treat Eden like a myth, a location erased by time. But Scripture never treats it that way. It isn't described as lost. It's described as sealed. And a seal that was never lifted raises an obvious question. Is it still holding? Sit with that for a second. An unnamed guard, an unclosed case, sitting quietly inside Genesis for thousands of years, waiting for someone to ask. Imagine standing before Eden's eastern gate. The sword never slows. The fire never fades. Centuries after Genesis, Jewish tradition, writings outside Scripture, looked at that silent guardian and gave him a name. Uriel, fire of God. If those traditions are correct, the figure before Eden was never an ordinary messenger. If you want Scripture's silences investigated honestly, rather than filled in with guesswork dressed up as fact, hit like right now. This investigation is only getting started. Then the picture grows even larger. The same tradition says Uriel did not stand alone. Beyond Eden, 3 more mighty angels take their places. Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, one to every direction of the earth. An image that echoes Revelation's 4 angels holding back the 4 winds. Not merely guarding a garden, but surrounding an entire world. But think about that for a moment. Every civilization has fallen to dust. Every empire that ever stood has collapsed. And according to this tradition, these 4 have simply remained. Subscribe now, if you haven't already, because what may still be standing at that threshold hasn't finished revealing itself. But here's what an honest investigation has to admit plainly. Scripture confirms none of this. Not the name, not the 4 directions, not whether any guard remains active today. What we actually have is a door Scripture leaves shut, and centuries of tradition reaching to explain what's behind it. So the case stays open. Either something is still watching that threshold right now, or the question has simply outlived every answer offered for it. Either way, the door has not reopened. But here's what this investigation doesn't need tradition to confirm. That door was never meant to stay sealed forever. Centuries after Eden, another tree would stand, not guarded by fire, but carrying the full cost of every reason Eden had to close in the first place. Christ didn't send an angel to remove the guard. He became the way through it himself. Every door that feels permanently shut in your own life carries that same quiet weight, until someone finds the way through. Eden's gate has stood closed for thousands of years, but it was never God's final word on returning to Him. So here's where this leaves us. Something may still be standing at that gate, or nothing is. Scripture doesn't resolve it, and neither can we. But the way back to God was never through that gate to begin with. It was through the cross. So let me ask you this. If you stood before that gate today, would you want to know what was lost? Or would you rather it stayed exactly where it is? Comment your answer. Like this video. Subscribe to Patmos, because the next mystery Scripture leaves silent might not stay that way for long.